Do you have a paper planner that you absolutely love, but you're just dying to try digital? Well, today I'm going to show you how to do that. So stick with me if you'd like to learn more. Well, hi everyone. I'm Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. At least that's the plan anyway. One way that I wanted to simplify my life was going from my paper planner, which I love paper planning, to digital. And the reason that I wanted to do that was so that I always had my planner with me. I chose to go digital using OneNote because OneNote works on my computer desktop. It also works on my iPad, and it also works on my Android phone. So no matter where I am, I can sync all of those things up, and I always have my planner with me. It is wonderful. A lifesaver, as a matter of fact. So today I'd like to show you a little bit how I went about that whole process of going through from paper to digital. Before we get started today, I'd like to ask you if you would please be generous and subscribe today. Subscribing is free, and I am relatively new here on YouTube, and every new subscriber that I get really helps YouTube know that people are interested in this kind of content and that they're learning something from what we're doing here today. So if you could, please hit subscribe and give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, and that also lets YouTube know that I'm giving out valuable information, and it would really help our channel a lot. It would help other people find our channel as well. So in advance, thank you. And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back for another visit, welcome back. I'm always happy to see you. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about is taking my beloved paper planner and putting it on my iPad so that I can plan digitally. Now, this happens to be a paper planner that I used in 2019, so you'll see that the dates are from 2019, and that's okay. What I liked about this particular planner was the layout of the daily pages. So let me turn to a blank page, and I'll show you the layout. Let's see, I hope you can see this. Very simply, it is hour blocks here, a place for the top 3 things to do and to-dos here, and then a little place to store extra notes on the side. And believe me, I used this planner a lot, all the way up until the beginning of 2020, when my husband said to me, you know, as much as you look through your planner and as much as you add to your planner, it really would be nice if you could do it online, so that way you could search a lot easier. And I said that I would give it a try. So I've given it a good try, and there's no turning back for me. Yes, I still love paper planners, but the flexibility and the ease of being able to do it online has won me over big time. So today what I want to do is I want to show you how to take a paper planner page that you absolutely love and how you can make that digital so that you can use it in OneNote. Now, my planner that I liked so much in 2019 was a Day Designer daily planner. So what I did is I went on the Day Designer website and I took a look, and they had a try it for free download that I could download. And the concept is that you're allowed to print it out and use it for your own personal use and try it out to see if that's the kind of planner that you like. So what I did is I downloaded that. Then I started trying to figure out a way to make it digital. So I want to show you a couple of those ways. So let's jump into our computer, and I want to show you a few things. Here in the computer, you see I have set up in my personal notebook over here. And remember, OneNote is designed as notebooks and then divider tabs for different sections. And then all the way over here on the right, we have all the various pages within that section. It's very much like a 3-ring binder that you might have used in school. Okay, so here in my personal notebook, I have a section called Calendar. And under my calendar section, in addition to all of the pages that I have, one of the pages is called Templates. And this is a page where I store all kinds of containers. That's what OneNote calls them, containers that have different information in them. So if you followed me at all, you know that I have a morning routine, and you can see right here in red, I have my morning routine written out. I also have my evening routine written out. I also have a bill tracker here written out. A book review, sermon notes. Let's scroll down and see what else we have. I have my wellness and fitness tracker. I have a monthly calendar. I have my modified dashboard here that I used a lot. So you can see I have created a lot of templates. The beauty of these templates is I can go in here, highlight, or click on the entire container to highlight the entire thing, copy it, take it to a page that I'm currently working on, paste it in there, and I'm good to go. So even though I may get tired of using a particular template for a while, I can store it here, and then I'll always have it for future reference. So let's create a new one today. All right, I'm going to go down here and click on this page called Day Designer Daily. Now this simply is, if you see I click on it, it gets these dashed lines and these dots around it. This simply is a PDF. I downloaded the PDF from the Day Designer website. This is their try it for free page. So I downloaded that. When it came up, I simply printed it to OneNote. And so it printed it on a blank page in OneNote. So now I have this file. And basically, as a PDF file, it treats it as a graphic. So with these dashed lines and circles around it, I can make it smaller if I want. I can make it larger if I want. So it's basically a graphic or a picture. Now in this particular download, there were other pages. Here's a second page that's a week of page. So there's top 3 things to do for the week, and then a section for each day of the week. What else is down here? There's a monthly calendar in this try it for free file. And that's it. So 2-page spreads for the monthly, 2-page spreads for the weekly, and a single-page spread for the daily. The daily is what I'm going to stick with today because it looks a little complicated, but it's really not. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to make a copy of this picture here that is highlighted. And then I'm going to, well, let's just stay in this section, and I'll add a new page in this section. And I will call this From Paper to Digital Daily. And I will go ahead and paste my PDF file right there. Okay, that works great. Now, if I wanted to, I could simply come in here, right click on this, and see this feature right here that says set the picture as the background. If I click on that, set the picture as a background, it is now a part of the page. I could go to my iPad and write on this page, and I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. But for now, I want to take this concept and recreate it in a digital format that will actually be much easier to use and much more flexible for my needs. So here we go. Let's analyze this chart right here just a little bit. When I look at it, I know that it has a section for times of the day for appointments, and it goes from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I also know that there's a top 3 things to do, and there's a whole long list of to-do things. That's wonderful. There's a 4-quadrant section over here that says do, dinner, dollars, and don't forget the 4 Ds, I guess. And then there's a whole section here for notes. And at the bottom, reminders, and at the end, daily gratitude. So let's try and recreate this. It looks like a lot of information, but really if you break it down, it's really 3 columns. There's 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. That should be easy enough to do. To create my own, I'm going to come over here on the side, and you see when I click over here on the side, it puts my cursor there. I'm going to go up to my Insert menu, and I'm going to go to the Table feature. Now, I use tables a lot because I can fill them in, they can expand as I need them to, so I use tables a lot in my OneNote notebooks. So I'm going to say a 3-column table, and I'm going to make it as big as this little box will let me make at the moment. I can add to it in a minute, and I'll show you that. So there's my 3x8 table, and I let go of the mouse, and it simply inserts my table right where I had it. Okay? Now I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. I hope you guys can all see that. Now, at the top it says day of, and you see that my table starts right here. Well, if I simply hit enter, you see it moves my table down and it gives me some room at the top to put my cursor. So I could write the words day of and a colon just like they have, or because I'm a school teacher, retired of course, but we always told our students to put their date on their paper. So I'm going to use the word date just because it's more in line with what I want. And then you see there is a space right here, and then they have a double line. And then they start off with today, and that today looks like it could be part of my table. So I'm going to go over here to the very first column and the first cell, and I'm going to type today. And then I'm going to hit the down arrow key, and remember, I'm trying to recreate what's here on the page, so I'm going to do 7, and then they have a blank space. So I'm going to skip that blank space, and then I'll put 8 and 9 and 10, and I need a lot more space. So let me show you how to add more to your column. If I simply highlight the number of columns that are here and right click, I can go up here to the table feature, and there are all these insert and delete items that I can choose for. If I say insert below, it's going to insert 8 more boxes below where I was already typing. So let's do that. And there they are. Now if I only needed 2 more boxes, all I need to do is highlight 2 and do table, insert below, and it will add just 2 more. So you can do as many as you want. You can do them singly if you want. I just as soon add a bunch at a time, and it's just faster that way. So I'm going to go ahead and add these times, speed it up a little bit, but all I'm doing is entering the number. Like here I'll do 11, and then I'm skipping a space and going to the next one. Okay, there we have our times up until 8 o'clock. Let's jump over quickly to the next column. Today's top 3. Just like they have on their page. Now you'll notice as I'm typing that the cells are getting bigger, they're getting wider to accommodate what I'm typing inside of them. That's fine. If I wanted to change the size of the cells, let's say I wanted to leave more space in my appointments column, all I need to do is come up here to the top of my container, come over to these double arrows, move them to the width that I think that I want the page to be, and then I can simply adjust. I can say, yeah, that's about how much I want for my appointments. That should be enough for the top 3. Now let's see what's going in this last column down here. Now they have the 4 boxes, so I'm going to type the same 4 words: do, dinner, dollars, and don't forget, And again, you see that my cells, my columns are getting wider, but I'm going to make them a little bit wider so that I have room to write something after that if I wanted to. I want to remember to have a space to put what I don't want to forget. All right. Now, the next thing that I see here is there's another dash line to kind of separate these top three from the rest of the to-dos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to highlight those two columns going across my table. Again, I'm going to right click, and that's going to bring up my menu so that I can go down here to table, and I'm going to go down to shading. And when you choose shading, you can pick any color that you want. I think today I am going to go for kind of a medium blue color, just because I think it's such a pretty color, very bright. Then I can go to my next cell, and remember, I'm recreating what's on this side, on the pre-printed side. So there's my to-do, and then they have these cute little boxes, which I didn't put up here at the top three, but they have these cute little check boxes here, and really they're just flat. They don't do anything. I could write over them, but I can't do anything with them. But OneNote has a feature called tags. And if you look up here at the top of the menu, there is a whole section for tags. Let me drop down this menu and show you how many tags I've made for myself. Some of them are standard. The to-do tag is standard in OneNote, as is the important is standard in OneNote. A number of these are. You can customize those. And I have plans to do an entire video on my use of tags in the very near future. But for now, I'm going to stick with the simple to-do tag, which is here, and you see that it puts this blue box. Well, the to-do tag is used so much that it's right here next to the rest of the tags. So actually, I'm going to go back up here to my top three, and I'll put a to-do checkbox there, and I'll put one there, and I'll put one there. So you see, when you're working with tables, it's really, really easy to fill in all of these columns and cells with whatever you need. You get the idea. You don't need to watch me put boxes in all of that. I'm going to come over here to this section, and I'm going to write the word notes, just like they have there. And then I have a section for notes. Now, as I scroll down to the bottom of my page, I see that they have another section down here called Remember and Daily Gratitude. Well, if I want to add that, I can simply come down to the bottom of my table, and let's say I want to add a line. Let's do something different. Let's add a line, and we will draw a line from this side all the way across to that side. And looking at our pen properties, I think I'd like to stick with the same blue that I used up above. So I can do that. And then when I come down here underneath of that page, what I'm going to do is, because this is only two sections, I'm going to insert another table that is only 2 wide by, let's say, 4. Okay, so on this side I can do my remember, and in this side I can do daily gratitude, like that. Now remember, to make them bigger, all I need to do is grab them. Let's say I want to make remember half the size. They actually have it like this. So if I'm trying to recreate that page, I guess actually this would be the proper way to do it. I have a section for remember and daily gratitude. Okay? Now, if I look at this and I think, well, if I've got this blue line down here, maybe I could copy this blue line that's down here, and I could put it up here at the top, like so. Let's move him over just a little bit. There we go. So basically now I have recreated this piece of paper planner into a digital format, which is great. So let's say I have a dentist appointment. I can come in here next to 10 o'clock and I can type dentist appointment. And not only that, but I can hit enter and I can add the address of the doctor's office, and I can put the phone number of the doctor so that if I need to call them before I arrive, I can do that. So it's really flexible because I can add additional items as I want to. So that's a great thing, I think. I could do that over here, and I'll show you that when I start to use my my iPad with that. But let me show you how I would do that if I were doing it on this piece of paper on my desktop. So if I wanted to, I could come in here at 10 o'clock and I could click, and you see that my cursor is there, and I could write dentist appointment on top of that, and then I could hit enter and I could write the address of my dentist, and then I could hit enter again and I could put the phone number of the doctor there. And you see what it's done is it's created a little container that kind of floats over top of the picture. So it's almost like you have the picture flat and then you have this little container that's floating over top of it. Because I can now take this whole container and I could move it to a different location if I wanted to. So you see it's not really attached to that picture anymore. It just kind of floats on top, which is fine, and it works great if that's what you want to do. I just happen to like the flexibility of being able to modify and change things. Why would I want to modify and change things? Well, maybe I'm somebody who doesn't get up at 7 o'clock. Maybe I'm somebody who gets up at 5. Maybe I'm somebody who works the midnight shift and my hours are completely different than everybody else's, and I need a planner that works for me. Also, if I went over here to the to-do list, I could click next to the to-do list and I could write something like mail the mortgage payment, right? And then when it was finished, I could make some kind of mark to say, maybe I could choose my highlighter and I could say, well, yeah, I'm going to highlight that to show that it's done. Okay, I did that. Maybe that's how I want to check it off. Or maybe I could go up here to my drawing tool and I could choose a pen and I could make it kind of a thick pen, and I could come in here and make a dot to say that I've finished that, or I could make a check mark, or I could draw a line through it, you know, however I would like to say that that's been finished. Let me show you how I would do that over here on the one that we did in digital format. So let's say I have a task to mail the mortgage payment. Okay, so there's mail the mortgage payment. When it's finished, all I need to do is come in here and click this to-do box, and it puts a check in it to show me that it's finished. So that's very helpful and a lot cleaner looking, I think, than having to choose one of these three methods. All right, let me show you how I would modify all of this. I'm going to zoom back out so that I can move things around a little bit. Okay, so here we have our paper insert that we did, our PDF insert that we did. Next to that, we have our one that we recreated using OneNote tables feature. And some people might think, well, look how skinny these lines are and look how thick these lines are. Well, the difference is in the font size that you choose. So if I were to go in here into this middle section and I were to say to make this font a different size, right now it's size 11. Let's say I made it 8. Okay, you can see that it dropped down the size of those particular cells. Let's say now that I make it much bigger. Let's say that I make it 16. Then you see that those cells get much wider to accommodate the larger font. So you really can customize it that way as well. Okay, so just to make sure that I have everything here, I am going to lasso all of this. That will include any drawings, those lines and everything, and I will make a copy of that, and I'm going to come right next to it and I'm going to paste it. Now I have a duplicate copy of the one that we just made, but I'm going to be able to modify it now to show you what I'm talking about for adding different things. Okay, so let's say that I'm somebody who gets up at 5. My day starts at 5. So I want to change these to accommodate that. So I'm going to highlight all of those, delete those times, and I'm going to start with my day starting at 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then let's say once I get to work at 9, I might need 15-minute blocks. So if I wanted to go in here and do 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, I could do that as well. Maybe I'm somebody who, is somebody who's tracking my time on the 15-minute increment, and I need to do that kind of thing. I could do that as well. So you see, it's very flexible how you can change the times to meet what you need. Another thing that I might change is, instead of just using this standard to-do box here, what I might like to do is go up here back on my home tab to the tags and look for the important tag, which is a star, and I will use that tag for each of the things for my top 3 to make them stand out. Okay, and then I was looking at this do, dinner, dollars, and don't forget section. Well, we already have a remember section down at the bottom, so I don't really think that I need that don't forget, so I'm going to delete that. The dollars, I use a different expense tracker, so I don't really need that either. Dinner might be nice to keep track of. Bills due, I do in my budget planner, so I don't need that. So you know what? I might make this whole thing meals. Let's try that, meals. And then I could do B for breakfast, L for lunch, and D for dinner. That might work. So you see, it's very easy to customize these daily pages based on what you need personally if you're doing it in OneNote. Now, I could come in here, I guess, with a sticker and cover up what this says and make it look different. And that would be fine to do if that's what works for you. But for me, it's just easier to customize things the way that I'm doing it here on the screen. And I'm going to clean this up, get rid of this mortgage payment, because now I want to make this a perfect template that I can use over and over again. So I'm going to speed this up while I fix this time area, and I'll be right back. Okay. So I changed the times to accommodate what I normally do, and I changed the font also to accommodate a font that I particularly like. And let's see, I might need to make that a little bit smaller. So let's do that. And I'm going to put that line back where he belongs. Now, if you didn't want to use a line like this, you certainly could just add an extra column to your table. In fact, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's say you wanted to get rid of this line, so we will highlight him and delete him, but you want a differentiation or a shading between your columns. So you can simply come down here to the bottom and hit the tab key. And that's going to add an entire new line to your table. You could highlight that whole line. You could go up here to table and shading, change that to that same blue if you would like. And then this extra space here we can just delete. and that will pull your reminders and your gratitude up there. Let's say this is really big and you don't want it that big. Remember how we talked about changing the size of your font? We'll go down to size 6 and hit enter, and you see that it makes that space much smaller than the space that we have up here. Okay? So that's another way to do it, and that is perfectly fine. Again, that's another way to customize. And if you wanted to change this seasonally as you're going through, you could simply go in here and make this shading. Maybe as we go into fall, you want to change it from blue to, let's say, one of these pretty pumpkin spice colors. It's up to you. You can do whatever you'd like. All right, let's undo that for now because I want to keep this template customizable for the future. Again, I'm going to go up to my draw feature and I'm going to lasso, making sure I have everything just the way that I want it. And I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to a brand new page and I'm going to paste that here. Okay. Now, when I look at it all by itself on the page, it looks a little small to me, so I am going to make that a little bit bigger. Extend it to about that size, I think, for a daily, which means bringing all of these over as well. So let's start here. We'll give that a little more space. We'll start here and give that a little more space. And come over to the very end and give that a little bit more space. We can make our line longer simply by dragging it across. There we go. And come down here and let's grab this bottom one as well. We will take him to the middle and to the end, like so. Now what I can do is I could save this page as my daily template. Okay, now that I have this page exactly the way I want it, I want to save it as a template. So I'm going to go to my insert page and I'm going to go over here to page templates and I'm going to click on the down arrow. All the way down at the bottom is page templates. That brings up this box here on the right hand side, and see where it says save current page as a template? I can click on that and it says to give it a name. So I could say this is my daily template. There's a checkbox here that says set as default template for new pages in this current section. Save. Meaning every time I created a new page in this section, it would come up as this daily template if I clicked on that particular checkbox, which is something I could do if I was setting up each tab was a different month. That would work great. But for now, I don't want to do that. I'll choose this template when I need it because I don't always need a daily page. I usually work pretty well with a weekly page, but let's save it. And now when we look under my templates, there it is, daily template. I have a daily half-hour template, I have a book review template, and I have a what is supposed to be a June weekly template, but I had a spelling mistake, so I apologize. Anyway, when I look at our daily template, this is what's going to come up. Let me show you how that works by adding a new page. So if I go up here and click Add New Page, I can choose my daily template to come in, and there it is. Okay? So it's that simple. To go from a page that you love to digital that you love. Now, I'm going to turn around and show you how to do this on my iPad, but I have to make a camera adjustment, so hold tight. Today's kitty cat helper is Harry. He's helping by laying right in the spot where I need to stand. Okay, everyone, you see I am in my iPad and I have opened up OneNote on my iPad, and I'm going to go back to my personal notebook and I'm going to let that sync up, and then I'm going to my calendar section and scrolling down to the very bottom of my calendar section is the from paper to digital template page that we made together, where we took our PDF, and you can see my highlighting and drawing there. I wanted to show you that I can draw much better with the Apple Pencil than I can on the laptop or on the desktop. So I'm going to choose a different color so that you can see what I'm doing here. If I wanted to, at this point, I could maybe write in what my top 3 are. Let's see. Oh, that's actually a wider point than I wanted. So let's erase that. Let's come up here and make it a smaller point. Let's go, that point is good. Let's say this week I want to get out my fall decorations. So that's one of the top things that I want to do. And I need to get some happy mail in the mail. So I need to get that out, get my happy mail out. And let's say that I don't have this appointment, that I want to get rid of that, so I can simply choose my text mode, touch that, you see the entire box comes up, and I can either then go down here to the keyboard if I want, and I could type something else. Let's say I want to put maybe the doctor's name so that I remember which doctor it is that I'm going to. And that's Dr. Jones. I could do that. So you can see how that works. Get rid of the keyboard. Or I could simply, again, choose that pen and there, and I could write lunch with Andrea. Right? So see how that works? And again, this template that we put in here, this PDF template, simply floats in the background. Remember, we saved it as a background, so I can write on it. None of these checkboxes are functional, but I can check them off if I want, or I can, cross through items like I did here, even though that's pretty messy. If I do it with my Apple Pencil, I have a lot more control and can mark things off that way. I can write notes. Doctor says that I need x-rays, so I can just remember that note. All right, so that's how that works. If you want to just import a PDF file and use it digitally, that works great. And I showed you on the computer how you can type in these boxes, but I also wanted to show you on my iPad, I could do the same thing. I could either come in here, go into text mode, come in here, use my keyboard to type in events that I have. I could type in here that I have to pick up the dogs. I could type in here that I need to get groceries. So I can use any of these keyboards, or if I want to say somebody calls and I need to take a note, I can choose whatever pen I would like. And let's say that Cheryl called and she has dates for the beach. And I need to check my calendar for October 17th. Okay, so that's what I need to do. I can simply write it there as well. So you can see how using the iPad is very, very, very flexible. And then if we look down here at our untitled page, where we created the daily template, so our daily template page, oops, sorry, I keep touching the add a page button down here. If I go to the daily template that we created, you can see it there. One of the things that's cool about the iPad is if you have this at a very small font and you need to make it bigger to write in, you can simply pinch and move that apart, and then you have all of this space to write in. So maybe on this particular day, I have water aerobics that I need to do. And I might even could make a list of things that I want to make sure to take my weights and my noodle and my belt and my shoes. Okay, and then when you pinch it back down and make it smaller, it stays in scale with what you're doing. And again, here on this one, if I wanted to, I could come in here, go into text mode, not using my pen, but go ahead and type. So this might be pick up mail, and I can type that in there as well. And you see that since I set the font for the entire page, once I created the template, that font stays. So that's just a quick way to show you how we can go from paper to digital, and not only to digital, but to customize it to make it exactly what you need. And we all know that things change. Seasons change, lives change, and as you go through life and seasons change, if you need to make modifications to your page, you simply can do that with just a few clicks of the keyboard. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something new. Just take a look at those paper pages that you love and see how many columns would that be? How could I make that into something that I could put in OneNote? And give it a try. It's really not that hard, and it doesn't cost anything. You're not wasting paper, you're not wasting stickers, you're not wasting anything but maybe a little bit of your time. And I'm sure that you'll learn something along the way. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. I am so happy to be able to share this information with you. I just love doing these videos for folks. Please leave me a comment about something that you might have learned today, or what your favorite paper planner is. I've used the Happy Planner, I've used Day Designer, I've used Franklin Covey, I've used a bunch of them because I've been using planners since the 80s. Some people laugh and say, were your first planners made of stone? Anyway, leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite paper planner is, and if you're willing to give digital planning a try. Until next time, till we meet again, happy planning, everyone. Okay, bye.